There's I want to have babies with you, love.
I do want to have babies with you.
They would make fucking cute babies.
I don't think you can mix two female DNAs.
You can?
You can.
What?
Like genetic, yeah, you can. You need sperm, obviously.
So
but you
some
can do
can have two mummies?
Yeah.
Wow.
Science with Jen and Lauren.
There's a thing in the newspaper, but everyone was like, oh my god, it's the death of men. That's what feminists wanted the whole time. Like, just remove them from the equation. Hi everyone, it's Lauren and welcome to another episode of BYOB. In this series, I invite guests onto my channel to bring their own booze and bring their own book. And we have a chat today with me is Jen Campbell. What are we drinking today, Jen?
I don't want to say.
Well, you've just shown it to me.
I know. Apple sour.
Yeah, we're having a bit of a reminisce about our late teenage years.
Mm-hmm.
Describe what happened when you bought this in the shop.
Oh, yeah.
How did you feel?
I felt disgusted with myself. This cost a whole £9.50, this whole bottle. And I took it to the till, and the girl at the till looked at me, who was clearly much younger than me, and said, ID please. And I was like, I'm 29, and she went, wow. And I said, oh, thank you. But then I realised that's probably not what she meant. She probably meant, wow, you're 29 and you're buying apple sours.
Oh, well, we'll be sophisticated. We have some very beautiful, sophisticated glasses to drink it out of.
Oh, guys.
Is it pungent? God, I haven't had this since probably I was about 20. Like, I remember having it in clubs at uni.
Yeah, people should no, I just want to check what it is. Like, what actually is it?
I don't know if we want to know.
Sweet and sour spirit drink. That's
Sweet
all
and
it
sour.
says. It's alcohol.
It's sugar. I don't think there's any alcohol
It's
in
sugar and food colouring.
Yeah.
And it smells like Hubba Bubba. Apple Hubba Bubba.
Yeah. I think, actually, do you remember, did you have corky shots as well?
No.
Oh, they were good. They were like creamy. Oh my god, that's just like potion.
I remember going to like bars and
And they
you
have
have
all the
to-
different flavours of shots.
Yeah, no, I remember going to bars and they always called the cocktails like really gross things. So you had to be like, you know, I want an orgasm or
I want a slippery nipple, please. And everyone's like, oh, cheers.
cheers. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, maybe we should do it this way. Oh
I don't want to do this. It's warm. It reminds me of the stuff like before you know how to drink. When you're like, I just need everything to be really sweet because I'm not very good at alcohol yet. You know, when you're like, yeah. Normally we would be having a book to talk about, but because we decided to drink apple sours, we thought we'd just have a general reminisce of the books we were reading at the time.
Yeah.
When we might have been drinking apple sours.
I probably wasn't reading whilst drinking apple sours though. I have to say it was not that sophisticated.
Yeah, obviously you are meant to shot this. It's not really designed to be sipped, but we have a whole video to film, so I think we just took a shot.
We do like the rapid fire book tag and taking a shot after every question.
Oh my God.
Let's not do that. I thought I would bring this up. This is not my favourite drink, which I think is supposed to be the theme of the series.
It can be a favourite drink or just a hilarious drink. And
Okay, I think
it's
it fulfills that. It's a hilarious drink. I used to drink this as a teenager at house parties. And I really remember my friend's 18th birthday. She drank like half a bottle of this, and we all had to go home because she was throwing up by like 7:30.
And I bet it was like green everywhere as
Yeah.
well. Oh,
Messy.
that is great.
So anyway, books.
I didn't read a lot of books as a teenager, I don't think. But I think this is because, I think I've talked about this before, like there wasn't really YA. YA wasn't a thing when we were young, was it? Like, I just stopped reading because there wasn't really anything for me.
Because I used to work at an antiquarian bookshop, so we had children's fiction and then older children's fiction, but it's not YA as you would consider YA to be right now. It's just they're slightly older, but there's no like sex or romance or anything in them. It's just these, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
I guess so. Well, I guess I read a lot to Jacqueline Wilson.
I read a lot.
And then you've got those are the kind of young kid stuff, like the Tracy Beaker 10-year-old fiction, and then you've got the girls series when you're about 14.
Yeah, so that is the YA.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of like 1920s when I'm talking about like old books.
Oh,
I think it's existed.
Yeah, I'm thinking about
when we were teenagers. Yeah, I read a lot of Jacqueline Wilson too.
Yeah,
the Girls
like
series was
Girls
my
Out
favourite.
Late, Girls Out, what's it called? Girls in Love.
Girls in Love, Girls Under
Oh.
Pressure, which is my favourite. Girls Out Late and Girls in Tears.
I definitely read them when I was like 11 though, and I
Yeah.
remember thinking like, oh god, being a teenager is horrible. Like I just thought that I've got all this to come, like eating disorders.
Yeah.
Actually, it's topics that I wouldn't have known about.
No, Jacqueline Wilson is very good about writing about, you know, kids who have divorced parents and travelling around in different backgrounds.
What else did you read? Did you read a lot of trashy stuff?
I read a lot of point horror and point crime
Yeah, I remember those.
and a lot of Judy Blume.
Judy Blume.
Yeah.
What did Judy Blume write?
Oh my God, Lauren.
Sorry.
Who's
Judy Blume?
She's the US Jacqueline Wilson.
Okay.
Pretty much. She
what
wrote
books have she written?
Just As Long As We're Together, which was my favourite, which was about a set of 3 girlfriends and they're falling out, and the main girl getting her period. That was her main thing. She got her period in the toilet at school on Groundhog Day, which was also her birthday. And I remember reading it when I was like quite young, maybe 10.
Ooh.
And I was reading it on holiday on the beach in Portugal, and I turned to my mum and I went, and I don't know why I didn't know this at 10, clearly sex ed in our school was not good. I turned to my mum and went, what's a period? Like really loudly on the beach, and my mum was like, shh. I used to love those, I used to reread them, and she wrote something called Forever, which was like banned everywhere because it was about
Sex.
Oh,
I've not even heard of Judy Blume
Oh,
or
okay.
any of those books. So
well, I don't know if they would stand up to reading now. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not
because
planning
of
on reading them.
No. You didn't to learn about getting your first period. Okay, that's fine.
I'm okay
Fair
with
enough.
that.
It's all right.
Did you read this like Sweet Belly High?
I never read that, and I never read
I had
Babysitters Clubs or anything like
Oh,
that
I
either.
read the Babysitter's Club, but only a couple of them. I wasn't kind of like really into it. Read some of the Babysitter's Club. I remember reading I can't remember what the series is called. It might be called, I don't know, the first book is called The Wind Singer. Did you read those? Like, I remember them coming out. This was I want to say it wasn't pre-Harry Potter, because Harry Potter obviously was like when we were quite young, but it was about the same time. I don't think Harry Potter was as big, and this was a series I remember when like the 3rd book in the series was coming out. I was like, I've got to pre-order it from my library. But it's like these people who live in a town, and the Wind Singer is this big machine in the middle of the town, and the town is graded. It's like a circle, and the middle circle, like everyone wears purple or something,
right.
And they're like the really cool people, and then it's like red and orange, and you have to take tests, and if people in your family are like dumb, you go down a level. You have to live in the shit town. So it's all a bit like society stuff.
A bit Hunger Gamesy. Well,
Yeah,
like
sort
not
of.
the Hunger Games aspect, but the districts.
The district-y part of it is a bit Hunger Gamesy, and everyone has to wear like, so if you're in Orange District, like everyone wears orange. Like it's just weird. And then they go on like, it's like twins, and they go on a quest. It's good.
Oh, Louise Renison. I read a lot of Louise Renison. Georgia Nicholson books, Angus Thumbs and Paul Francis.
Oh yeah.
A lot of those.
I don't think I read stuff like that. One of my friends was definitely into like vampire-y, romance-y type stuff, so that was definitely around before Twilight became a thing.
Yeah.
So I remember that. I remember her reading it and me really judging her for it. So I think I was really judgmental when I was a teenager. I was just like, oh my god.
Well,
you read books about.
Like,
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
you're allowed as a teenager to be like that.
Yeah.
What do you think was the first like grown-up book that you read? And by that I don't mean like sexy times. I just mean, you know, for an adult audience.
For an adult, I think probably I remember when I was like 17 trying to read. I read David Copperfield,
Oh yeah.
and I quite liked that. It took me ages to read it. It's good though. It's quite accessible, I think,
Yeah.
for young kids. That might have been the first adult book I read. I don't know.
I was in at the deep end, I have to say. Like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not like Ulysses,
I must
but
have
I mean,
read
Jesus.
something. I must have read something like easier than that before then. I'm sure. How did you like transition into adult fiction?
I raided the shelves of a place that we were staying at in St Ives on holiday one summer. I'd run out of books to read. I always used to reread the same books.
Yeah, that's what I used to do. I think this is the thing. Like I'd have Jacqueline Wilson, I just like keep reading it.
Yeah.
I never read anything else.
So I'd run out of books, and for some reason didn't want to reread them for the 100th time, and then raided their bookshelves and found Tracy Chevalier, and I read Girl with the Pearl Earring. I think that was one of the first ones that I read.
I know I read. You know, Philip Pullman did that Victorian series.
Oh,
Like the detective-y
Rose-
ones.
Smoke?
Oh yeah,
Rose-
Ruby and the Smoke.
Ruby and the Smoke.
Yeah,
There you
those I read those. No, they kind of are a bit transitionary because it's
Yeah.
about adults. Like I guess it's easy reading, but it's kind of adult topics that happen in those books.
Yeah. I remember hanging out a lot, I've said this on my channel before, but hanging out in the LGBT section at Waterstones in Newcastle trying to find some non-depressing fiction. Because they just, I don't know if they just weren't very good at cataloguing it, but it was either like trashy, really sexy stuff or like really depressing 1980s, and a lot of them ended up committing suicide in the end. I mean, like
God.
a lot. I mean,
Nice.
I know, really uplifting. I mean, this is reflective of a lot of the stuff that was going on, and a lot of people like were obviously rejected by their families and were in awful situations. But if you're a teenager, like trying to find yourself in literature as like a queer woman, and everyone's just like depressed
We're gonna
everywhere,
die.
it's just like, I was like, where are the characters who are just gay and just in a book? So I read things like Annie on My Mind, which is a classic, but it's about two teenagers who fall in love and it's also very difficult, and I think they have like sex in their mum's bedroom when their parents are away, and then they go off to uni and they have to write to each other and they decide not to be together. It's all very dramatic. And then I read Sugar Rush, which is shit. I think it's shit. I
watched the TV series. Yeah,
amazing.
I didn't realise it was a book, I don't think.
Yeah, well,
I remember watching the TV series.
People said that like Sugar Rush was so profound and so like breakthrough because it had all these scenes between girls being together. But actually, whenever Sugar and main character Kim went to kiss, she'd end up talking about the sunlight shining on something. Like, and, you know, they'd lean in and then she'd talk about something else. And I'm like, this is not very breakthrough.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I want, you know, like porn in the book, but if they're gonna kiss, you can write that down. That's allowed.
But this is like the classic thing, which is, I think like Rowan talks about this in their videos a lot, which is, yeah, but it's specifically for gay stuff. So like, if obviously you could get a boy and a girl kiss in a book and that's fine, but whenever it's kind of 2 boys or 2 girls, it's like for some reason that's bad.
It's more like it's
and
more
that's
sexualized. But that people perceive it as more sexualized.
Yeah, and that's inappropriate, but it's fine if it's heterosexual kissing.
Well, she has is it the video where she pulls like all of the hetero kisses
cartoons
in Disney?
Yeah.
And it's really intense when you just watch them one after the other and she's like, yeah, no, this isn't sexual at all.
Yeah, no, I'll link it below because it's a really good video.
It is a very good video. There are lots of emo poetry.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I really
think I
wish
was
I had
much
some
more into. Not that I want to discuss it really, but I definitely wrote poetry or song lyrics. I was really into music, I think, but instead of reading. So it was all like emo music and then writing lyrics for the band I had when I couldn't play an instrument or was in a band. But I used to write songs anyway for my future band, just so that I was prepared.
We could form a band.
We could form a band. It wouldn't be a very tuneful one, I don't think.
No. How dare you? Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't even want to drink it. I keep putting it to my mouth and I'm like, no.
I'll have it. It's fine. It's fine.
You've been sipping it all morning.
All morning. Careful. Not the morning.
It's not the morning. It just feels like it because you got up so late.
I know.
Oh dear. Oh, well, thanks for coming on, Jen.
That's
thanks
right.
for bringing this disgusting drink.
You're welcome.
I've drunk more of it than you have. All of Jen's information and links and stuff will be in the description box below if you're not subscribed to her already. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.